The following podcast contains opinion and commentary protected under the First Amendment and fair use, as well as the public records and freedom of information laws. The content may include adult themes, concepts, or language not suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome everyone back to my channel and your favorite cubbyhole on the internet. We are back for some more, and this is not exactly part 2, but it is sort of a part 2. This is the follow-up to David S. Gingras crashing out. And this subject matter this evening will be on Lauren Neidigh, our favorite person on the internet, or at least in the court of random opinion. It is her channel after all. This will be about Lauren Neidigh's fighting back of David S. Gingras Esquire. She made a great filing response to strike the nonsense that David tried to bring into Mike Marraccini and Lauren Owens' DVRO case. That was, of course, heard on Friday, the 10th of October, 2025. Lauren covered her filing in response with a motion to strike all of David's nonsense. She covered that on her channel. I think I may link to that down below because it's worth talking about. Lauren also gave us a little insight to more bar complaints being filed against David Gingras, and those are being filed by none other than Lauren Neidigh herself. So we will cover that in just a moment. But first, a message from our sponsor. And that sponsor is, on this very non-monetized channel that doesn't have sponsors, but this is sort of a faux sponsor, if you will. That sponsor is called Deal With Your Trauma. Go see a therapist, go see someone professional. Don't bring your trauma to my channel, please. And I don't need those who carry their trauma everywhere they go, who clearly haven't dealt with it, wanting special accommodation. That's not what I'm here for. Now, I get it. Everyone has trauma. I have trauma. You have trauma. There are people in this comment section who will probably have trauma. But let me be very clear. I don't have the time nor interest to put disclaimers on everything for every single person's individual traumatic needs. That means I'm not going to be putting specific disclaimers on everything. I may not have time to. I may not care to. I may just be interested in getting the information out there as fast as possible, because that's part of the nature of doing content. Sometimes it's not what you post, but when you post it. So to address some brouhaha happening in the comment section in the last video and post, yes, I know. What David Gingras posted about Omar and Dave was horrific. We talked about that. We said it was horrific. There's nothing in what he said that, of course, he has now deleted, having deleted all of his socials. Nothing makes that okay. However, I would be derelict in my duty as someone commenting on this case and key figures of it, not to talk about those things that get posted, most especially when it targets my fellow content creators. Now, admittedly, I've only met sort of distantly via Lauren's live, a couple of them, that being Lauren and Bruce, while being on live together. I haven't met anybody else, nor have I directly interacted with them as far as I'm aware. Regardless of that, I take very seriously what other people may say about them, especially when I know it to be false, and especially when those comments like those of David S. Gingras Esquire, Dewey the douche canoe.
The fucking douche canoe.
When people like David Gingras use horrific, graphic, criminally minded content, albeit sort of hyperbole, but not very skillfully, and definitely with the intent to have a double meaning. It was clear that David wanted people to sort of read between some lines there, and that may be why he decided to get rid of some things rather quickly. He decided to jettison the whole thing, probably, perhaps. In my opinion, this is a theory, this is not fact. I haven't spoken to David Gingras. I will never speak to David Gingras. I have no desire whatsoever to have any one-on-one contact with that man. But I don't think he was in a sound state of mind, as is typical for him, when posting some of those awful things. Now, be that as it may, there have been some people making comments that, oh, you should be redacting all these things and you shouldn't. No. There are a number of reasons why I may choose or choose not to redact things. If there are things posted in the public sphere, no amount of redaction will cover that up. When it comes to private information, such as addresses, other personal identifying information that should not be in the public hands, those are things I will most likely redact if they are not already. When it comes to comments posted by people like David Gingras, targeting specific people, People I quite frankly admire, even though I've never met them, and certainly appreciate their points of view and the content they produce. I don't see what justice it does by covering all the things that may be disturbing to general public, and as it should be disturbing. I don't see the purpose of redacting potentially offensive things for the sake of specific individuals and their personal trauma. That's not something I'm getting paid for here. I'm not getting paid for it all, obviously. If I get paid heaps of money, maybe I would consider that. But again, I don't see what it does. We know what David said. We know who he said it to. We know what he said it about. And there are other people in this space. And I'm going to bring this up just by way of example. This is Bruce the Moose, whom I briefly met via Lauren's Live. He covered this very thing, a day or two before I decided to touch on it more specifically in content form. Bruce the Moose is here talking about the post. It was posted by Seeking Justice for All Victims of Lauren Owens. This was on Twitter X. This was a repost by @Clayton's Justice. They talked about this. And as you can see, I know it's not all the way down at the bottom of the screen. There are no redactions here. Some of the reasons we don't redact, other than, to smooth over people's personal feelings of trauma they clearly haven't resolved. And again, I encourage those people to seek whatever professional help they need to work on their personal trauma. It does not serve an interest of justice to hide all of the important details of what was said. And that's not out of insensitivity to Omar or his family, and it's not out of insensitivity to Dave or his family. Dave and Omar both know the craziness that this man is capable of. They have both experienced him firsthand, both publicly and privately. I don't think it does anything other than to platform censorship that, while yes, it can be offensive, especially if you have unresolved trauma, it muddies the waters of fact. And we wish to be factual here. So that is the intent. For those of you who believe that every community post in my posts tab should also come with disclaimers and gotcha stickers and redactions and censorships and blacked out things like Reddit, folks, it is not going to happen. YouTube does not offer that. Even if it did, I probably wouldn't use it, mostly out of time, because again, I am not here to placate every single individual person's feelings and trauma needs. It's not going to happen. As this channel gets bigger, it's going to happen even less. So now, as one person did who made a number of comments talking about how things happen on Reddit and other places, they suggested I mischaracterized their comments, and their points of view are their own points of view for their own reasons. I'm not going to get into that. There's no reason to. That individual sent me an email. I am not going to respond to it, nor am I going to make the personal phone call to their work telephone and or email that they requested. It's not going to happen. Number one, I don't want you having all my contact information. I don't know who you are. I have no reason to trust people that just show up in my comments or show up in my inbox, unless they are people I have interacted with personally, as I have with some other content creators. So folks, again, I'm going to warn you, don't misuse my email, don't misuse my socials. It is not a personal platform. It is not a complaint box. And if I find them entertaining, they will be read. I will read them publicly. So I will warn you yet again, anything you send me is subject to become even more public on my channel. So be cautious as you so enter the fray of wanting to give me a piece of your mind on how you think I should be running my channel. But again, this is my channel, not yours. Go get your own. You're welcome to do so. You may or may not have people that are interested in that. That's up to you. But I'm going to do what I think is in the best interest of the content of my channel and how I choose to run things. And if I have second thoughts about that, I will reserve the right to do so. Again, it's my channel. Like it or leave it. Okay. That's enough of my annoyance with people taking advantage of my contact information and wanting to reach out to me personally and have personal one-on-one, heart-to-heart conversations. I am not your therapist, folks. Go and get one. If I were your therapist, I would be expecting $150 an hour minimum. Actually, I think the going rate's more like $250 post-COVID. So you better start getting your wallets out if you wish to approach me to hear your trauma and hear you out. Okay, I've got that out of my system. Now, let's go on to the next parts of David Gingras crashing out part next. That being Lauren Neidigh fights back, which is so glorious. Now, those of you who watch the other content creators like Lauren and Bruce, you've heard some of these things. Oh, and of course, Loud Little Ducky. Ducky talked about this a little bit as well. For those of you who've been paying attention to the other channels like Lauren and Bruce's, you've heard some of these things before, but we're going to get to the other side of things. You heard Lauren read her motion to strike and so forth against David Gingras. That took place just before the hearing on October 10. But Lauren also wrote something else. And this is it. I'm not sure if anyone else has covered this just yet, but I will. It has the blessing of Lauren to share this, so we shall share it. And it is good stuff. It is as good as Lauren's motion to strike that took place in San Francisco. And this is but one of 2 letters going to state bars regarding David Gingras. Those 2 bars will be the Bar of Arizona and the Bar of California. Now, they will have slightly different details based upon the relevant ethics and rules that lawyers licensed in the various jurisdictions are supposed to follow. So there will be some variation on the theme, but this is the basic gist of things, and it will echo, shall we say, what Lauren wrote in her filing for the San Francisco case. And it reads as follows. No, I do not have a Lauren AI voice, so all you voice snobs can just relax. On September 15, 2025, Arizona attorney David Gingras submitted a filing in the Superior Court of California, County of San Francisco, with that case number, containing knowingly false and baseless allegations about me, a non-party with no involvement in the litigation. In this filing, Mr. Gingras used my image and online commentary to make irrelevant and defamatory claims accusing opposing counsel and I of participating in an outlandish conspiracy. At the time, Mr. Gingras was not counsel of record for any party. His actions served no legitimate purpose and were intended to harass and misrepresent me due to personal animus arising from my protected online commentary. On September 15, 2025, Mr. Gingras supported a court filing seeking to intervene in a case to which I am not a party. In that filing, he used my image twice without my consent, falsely accused me of conspiring with opposing counsel, a licensed attorney, based solely on my friendship with that attorney. Associated me with a false threat of gun violence, despite the fact that I have never threatened anyone, nor has any party in that case. These allegations were unfounded, irrelevant to the legal issues, and clearly intended to harm my reputation and credibility. I have never been involved in the underlying litigation. My only connection to these matters is as a YouTube commentator who follows and discusses legal filings, including those submitted by Mr. Gingras and his client, Laura Owens. Mr. Gingras chose to include me in his legal filings only when doing so served his false narrative. This is not the first instance of Mr. Gingras using legal process to target me. He previously filed a copyright strike with YouTube against my fair use commentary, later admitting publicly via Twitter that he had not fully watched the content he claimed to own. These actions reflect a pattern of using his law license to retaliate against critics rather than to represent clients ethically. Mr. Gingras' conduct violates several provisions of Rule 42, Arizona Rules of the Supreme Court, including ER 3.3, Candor toward the tribunal. He knowingly made false statements of fact in a court filing, presenting fabricated allegations as fact to a tribunal. ER 4.1, Truthfulness in statements to others. His court filing contained false statements of material fact communicated to third parties through the public record. ER 4.4, Respect for rights of third persons. By including knowingly false and irrelevant allegations about me, a non-party, he used legal process to harass and burden a third person. ER 8.4 C and D, Misconduct. His conduct involved dishonesty, misrepresentation, and was prejudicial to the administration of justice, undermining confidence in the legal system. Mr. Gingras' filing placed false and harmful allegations into the public court record, associating me with violent behavior and unethical conduct. These actions caused reputational harm and emotional distress, and they create a chilling effect on protected speech. His misuse of legal filings to target a non-party undermines the integrity of the judicial process. I can provide the following evidence upon request. A copy of the September 15, 2025 filing with the false statements and images highlighted, screenshots and documentation disproving the claims made about me, Mr. Gingras' public tweets admitting he did not watch my content before issuing a copyright strike, relevant court records, and public commentary that provide additional context. Mr. Gingras' actions represent a serious misuse of his law license for personal retaliation and public misrepresentation. His behavior violates ER 3.3, 4.1, 4.4, and 8.4, and reflects conduct prejudicial to the administration of justice. I respectfully request that the State Bar of Arizona and California investigate this matter and take appropriate disciplinary action. I am willing and able to provide further evidence to support this complaint. Sincerely, everybody's favorite court of random opinion host, Lauren Neidigh. So there we have it, folks. Lauren Neidigh fights back, and it's not the first time she's had to fight back crazy people dragging her into their filings in the court system to which Lauren herself is not a party. I don't follow the Baldoni Lively case very closely, but what I have seen, I know that Lauren was dragged into that with Blake Lively trying to subpoena stuff from Lauren, and it's just, these people are insane. These are people who think they are elite, that they are above the law, and can do whatever the hell they want without consequence. Which is not true, of course. That is especially not true of a lawyer like David Gingras. He is accountable to the system. And it is that system that will take his law license, I believe, eventually. Or at least, perhaps, force him into permanent retirement. That's not to say he couldn't try and get a license somewhere else, but one doesn't want things like this being a specter on any doorstep for future opportunities. So this is a short one for today. We'll talk about Mama Owens and the Daily Mail nonsense in our next episode. Until then.